before the first dawn, before time itself dared to wake. There was nothing but silence, and the vast, yawning emptiness known as Ginnungagap. An endless, silent chasm, where darkness slept and stars had yet to be born. To the frozen north lay Niflheim, realm of mist and ancient ice. From the deep, dark spring Hvergelmir, 12 rivers flowed, slow and heavy, carrying shards of frost older than any memory. The air smelled of cold stone and distant snow. To the south, a world of blazing heat, Muspelheim. A land of living flame, where embers danced like spirits, and rivers of molten rock pulsed with restless life. At its edge stood Surtr, the fire giant, silent sentinel with his sword burning brighter than the fiercest midday sun. For countless ages, Ginnungagap lay empty, until, at last, frost and flame reached for one another. Slowly, gently, droplets formed where the heat met ice. From those first droplets of melted frost, life stirred. And so came forth Ymir, the first giant. Huge and shapeless, his breath like rolling thunder. Frost steamed around him as he exhaled, his every step echoed across the emptiness. As Ymir slept, the warmth from Muspelheim and the frost of Niflheim mingled around him. From the sweat of his armpit sprang a man and a woman, giants like himself. And from the touch of his legs, another son was born, the first of the frost giants, ancestors of a race proud and ancient. From the melting ice also emerged Aumbla, a great cosmic cow. She was gentle and patient, her breath warm despite the cold world. She nourished Ymir with her sweet milk, which flowed in 4 rivers, but Aumbla herself grew hungry. She turned to the blocks of salty ice and began to lick. As Aumbla licked, something slowly emerged from the ice. On the first day, strands of hair. On the second, a head, noble and calm. And on the third day, a full form, strong and tall. Thus was born Buri, the first of the gods. Buri had a son named Bor. And Bor wed a giantess named Bestla. Together, they had 3 sons. Odin, destined to become All-Father. Vili, whose name means will. And Ve, whose name means sacred. The sons of Bor saw the growing power of Ymir and the chaotic brood of frost giants. They feared that chaos would rule the world forever. So, the 3 brothers, Odin, Vili, and Ve, rose up against Ymir. A great battle shook the emptiness. In the end, Ymir fell. His death was no small thing. As his blood poured out, it drowned nearly all the frost giants. Only 2 survived, Bergelmir and his wife, who fled on a wooden chest, becoming ancestors of a new race of giants. From Ymir's vast corpse, Odin and his brothers shaped the world. They used his flesh to form the earth, blood to fill the seas and lakes, bones to raise the mountains, teeth and shattered bones to make cliffs and stones, skull to arch the sky itself. At the edges of the world, they placed 4 mighty dwarves. Nordri, Sudri, Austri, and Vestri, to hold up the heavens. From the sparks of Muspelheim, Odin and his brothers set stars across the sky. They shaped the sun and moon, placing them in chariots drawn by swift horses. 2 divine children, Sol and Mani, guided them, forever chased by wolves across the heavens. At the center of it all, the gods planted Yggdrasil, the great ash tree. Its branches stretched across worlds, its roots sank into realms deep and hidden. Asgard, home of the gods. Midgard, realm of men. Jotunheim, land of giants. And others, each woven into the tapestry of existence. Under its roots coiled the serpent Nidhogg, gnawing eternally, and among its branches perched an eagle, watching all below. One day, the 3 brothers walked along the seashore. They found 2 fallen trees, an ash and an elm. From these humble shapes, they created Ask, the first man. Embla, the first woman. Odin breathed life into them. Vili gave them understanding and feeling. Ve gifted them hearing, sight, and speech. They were placed in Midgard, protected by the gods. And so the worlds were born from emptiness, shaped from the body of a giant, sparked by fire, cooled by mist. Above it all, the sky stretched like a vaulted skull, stars watching silently, and the gods, sons of Bor, watched over it, Odin, wise and restless, Vili and Ve, keepers of will and holiness, but deep beneath, giants waited, shadows stirred, and destiny began to weave its secret threads. It must not lie barren, Odin whispered, voice calm yet resolute. Let us give it valleys and rivers, hills and glades, so it may breathe. With their great hands, the brothers carved deep fjords, and water rushed to fill them, shimmering silver in the young sun. They shaped mountains, tall and solemn, cloaked in snow. They laid out forests of pine and birch, whose seeds were sown on the winds of Ginnungagap. Vili. The world feels empty still, brother. Let it feel the breath of wind. Ve raised his hand, and gentle winds stirred the leaves. Clouds gathered slowly above the mountains, drifting in quiet processions. Snow began to fall on distant peaks, soft and cold, while rain nourished the valleys below, yet the sky itself seemed lonely. So the gods called forth two great wolves. Skoll, whose fate was to chase the sun. Hati, who would follow the moon. From that day onward, day and night danced forever in quiet pursuit, deep beneath the earth, in the dark places where Ymir's bones formed caverns, something stirred. From the soil and rock, creatures awoke, small, sturdy, and clever of hand, the dwarves. Their first words were whispers in the dark. Stone, gold, iron. We shall craft wonders, another murmured. And so, four eldest dwarves were named. Nordri, destined to guard the north. Sudri, keeper of the south. Ostri, watcher of the east. Vestri, protector of the west. Together, they would hold the heavens aloft. As the first day drew to a close, Odin stood beside his brothers on a rocky cliff. Look, Ve whispered. The sun dips beyond the hills, leaving the sky aglow. They watched as colors spread, gold, crimson, then gentle purple. Night wrapped the world in quiet shadow, and the first stars shone softly above. The sun shall rest, Odin spoke, and so too shall men and gods when their labors end. The brothers reached into Muspelheim once more, gathering glowing sparks. One by one, they set them in the night sky, some to burn bright, others to glimmer faintly in forgotten corners. Among these stars, they placed watchers, spirits who would guide sailors, hunters, and dreamers. Beneath the spreading branches of Yggdrasil, the three brothers paused. This tree will bind all worlds, Odin whispered, laying his hand on the rough bark. Its roots drank from three sacred wells. Erdebrunn, the well of fate. Mimisbrunn, the well of wisdom. And Hvergelmr, the roaring spring. Ve felt the slow pulse of life within its trunk. Even the gods must bow to what the tree holds, Vili murmured. Odin closed his eyes, as if listening to whispers in the leaves. As they rested, Odin dreamed. A vision of twilight, fire, and ruin. Of wolves swallowing the sun and moon. Of the world tree trembling. He awoke in silence. Brothers, Odin said softly, all things that begin must one day end. Vili and Ve exchanged a quiet glance but said nothing. The wind rustled through Yggdrasil's branches, like an ancient lullaby. The gods shaped more than rocks and stars. From sea foam, they called forth the gentle Nykr, who played songs in moonlit lakes. From moss and shadow, they gave life to elves, fair and wise, keepers of hidden groves. In deep caves, they left the dwarves to forge treasures yet unseen. The world was filling with whispers, with magic, with hidden things. As Ask and Embla awoke, blinking at the dawn, Odin knelt beside them. You shall love, dream, and grieve, he told them gently. Vili spoke next, you shall know joy and sorrow alike. Ve added, and your children shall fill the world, so it will never be empty. Ask and Embla listened, silent as trees in morning mist. To protect Ask and Embla and those who would come after, the gods built Midgard's walls. High palisades of wood and stone, circled by the sea, Ymir's blood still, now turned salt. Beyond lay Jotunheim, wild and cold, where giants roamed in ancient freedom. As night returned, the brothers looked across the world they had made. Mountains slept beneath misty veils. Rivers gleamed like threads of silver moonlight. Stars watched silently. "It is only the beginning," Odin whispered. And the wind seemed to carry back the promise. Only the beginning. Beneath stone and earth, by the red glow of forge fires, the dwarves awoke to their craft. In the deep halls of Svartalfheim, they shaped treasures from iron, gold, and silver. With hands rough yet precise, and eyes that saw beauty hidden in cold stone, Brock, eldest among them, turned to his brother Eitri. "Let us make gifts worthy of the gods," he whispered. "A spear," Eitri replied, "that flies truer than thought." "A golden hair," Brock added, "to restore beauty lost." "And perhaps," Eitri murmured, "a hammer of thunder, for times yet to come." Their hammers fell in rhythm, echoing through the stone. For Odin, they forged Gungnir, the spear of unerring aim. Its shaft bore runes of power, carved with quiet breath and steady hand. When Odin received it, he held it close. With this, Odin spoke softly, "Justice and vengeance shall find their mark." For another god yet to come, they made Mjolnir, the hammer, short of handle, yet fierce and heavy. For Sif, goddess of the golden fields, they spun hair of pure gold, finer than any silk. And for Freyr, future lord of harvest, they crafted Skidbladnir, a ship that could fold like cloth yet carry all the gods. All these things were born in fire and shadow, unseen by sun or moon. Above, in Midgard, Odin, Vili, and Ve spoke once more. "The forests should echo with life," Ve said gently. Vili raised his hand, and from moss and leaf, he shaped the first deer, slender and watchful. Odin called birds from wind and shadow, ravens and swans, eagles and nightjars. By the rivers, they made fish, silver and swift, and in the hills, the first wolves and bears opened their eyes. The world began to move and breathe. One dawn, Odin walked to the well of fate beneath Yggdrasil. There he saw the three sisters, the Norns. Urd, who knows what was. Verdandi, who sees what is. Skuld, keeper of what must come. Their voices were low as the sighing wind. Odin, bowing his head. "Tell me, wise ones, what lies ahead for gods and men?" Urd, softly. "Great joy, and great sorrow." Verdandi. "Battles shall rise, empires shall fall. Heroes will be sung of, then forgotten." Skuld, whisper. "And at last, fire and wolf shall swallow sun and moon. Yet from ash, new green shall grow." Odin listened, silent, the weight of destiny settling in his gaze. That night, Ask and Embla slept beneath the stars. They dreamed of mountains they had not climbed, seas they had yet to see, and children whose names were still unspoken. Above them, Odin watched quietly. "May they know love before sorrow," he whispered. And the stars seemed to shimmer in gentle reply. In time, Odin hungered for deeper wisdom. One twilight, he stood before Yggdrasil and made a vow. "I shall sacrifice myself to myself," he declared. For 9 nights, Odin hung from a branch of the World Tree, pierced by his own spear, eyes turned inward. No bread, no water, only wind and whisper. On the 9th night, runes revealed themselves to him, living symbols of power, knowledge, and magic. He fell from the tree, weary yet changed. With these runes, he murmured, "I shall guide gods and men alike." To shield Midgard from the chaos of giants, the gods raised a great sea, wide and deep, made from Ymir's blood. Beyond it lay Jotunheim, where frost and mountain ruled. High walls, unseen yet strong, circled the realm of men, held firm by ancient spells. One quiet evening, as the brothers looked out over the new world, Odin spoke. "Brothers, there will come a time when giants and gods will meet in fire." V laid a hand on Odin's shoulder. All things end, even us, Vi replied gently. Vili nodded. Yet what we build now will live in stories, even after we are gone. Odin gazed into the dusk. Then let the stories be worthy. Across Midgard, seeds sprouted, rivers carved new paths, and mountains whispered secrets to the wind. The first children of Ask and Embla laughed beside streams. Elves danced in moonlit glades, unseen by mortal eyes. The dwarves forged treasures still hidden in deep halls. And high above, the sun and moon traced their endless chase, wolves ever behind. Time flowed like a river through stone. Mountains grew and crumbled. Forests rose and fell. Generations of men were born and turned to dust. Yet always, Yggdrasil stood, roots deep, branches wide, leaves whispering of all that was, all that is, and all yet to come. Close your eyes now. Dream of the frost that birthed giants. The fire that gave spark to stars. The cow who licked life from ancient ice. And the gods who shaped worlds from emptiness. For even when the tale ends, the story lives on. In stone, in song, and in the quiet breath between heartbeats. Sleep well, dreamer. The world tree watches still. Time passed in the newborn worlds. Seasons began to turn, gentle summer, quiet autumn, silent winter, and the first green buds of spring. Men learned to plant seeds and gather grain. The elves taught them the secrets of herbs, and the dwarves shaped tools of bronze and iron. Yet above all, the gods watched, walking unseen among hills and forests. One dawn, across the rainbow arc of Bifrost, there came another figure. A god of shifting shape, laughter that could soothe or burn, and eyes quick as lightning. His name was Loki, son of a giant yet sworn blood brother to Odin. Odin, welcoming. You walk paths none else would dare, old friend. Loki, smiling. Someone must bring change to a changeless world. Vili, warily. Change is a dangerous gift. Loki. And yet, without it, even gods would turn to stone. For all his tricks, Loki brought gifts to the young world. From the hidden places of Jotunheim, he taught fire's secrets, how to cook food, harden iron, and warm a winter night. In whispers, he taught men how to weave words into stories, so no deeds would be forgotten. Yet even then, shadows flickered behind his smile. One moonlit night, Odin, Loki, Vili, and Ve stood upon a stony shore. The sea lay before them, black and endless, reflecting stars that seemed older than worlds. Odin, quiet. Do you ever wonder, brother, why we shaped all this? Ve, softly. Because emptiness was sadder than toil. Vili. And because even gods long to leave something behind. Loki watched the moonlit waves. Or perhaps, he murmured, we simply wished not to be alone. The sea answered only with the hush of breaking waves. Deep below, the dwarves kept working in silent halls. They shaped chains that could bind even the wildest beast. Jewels that glowed softly in darkness. And secret runes, carved so small no mortal eye could see. They whispered of a time when gods themselves would come seeking gifts of power. And the hammers rang on. One twilight, Odin walked alone, cloaked and hooded. He crossed mountains, rivers, and silent valleys, unseen by men. At night, he sat beside campfires, watching embers drift upward, like tiny stars. In dreams, he spoke to unseen beings, spirits of rock and stream, listening to the world's quiet heartbeat. Odin, whisper. Show me what lies beyond sight, teach me the songs older than speech. The wind answered with rustling leaves, and the stars shone cold and eternal. High in sunlit groves and misty glens, the light elves danced. They wove music from bird song and silver harp strings. When Odin came among them, he spoke gently. Teach me of beauty, so men may remember hope even in winter. An elf maiden placed a single white flower in his hand. Then let them remember this, she whispered. Beyond the elves of light lay darker groves, where the dark elves kept to shadow. Few dared seek them, for they knew hidden things. Paths through dream. Secrets of deep earth. And magic that could heal or harm. Yet even they bowed before Yggdrasil's ancient power. Far in Jotunheim, where wind howled among broken peaks, the frost giants watched the growing world. They spoke in low voices of old grudges, of fire and ice, and of the walls that kept them out. And they waited, patient as glaciers point. One cold night, Odin and Loki sat beside a crackling fire, the wind sighing around them. Odin. What do you truly seek, Loki? Loki, after a long silence. To be seen. And perhaps, to see what no other dares. Odin. And what lies beyond that? Loki, with a wry smile. Even I do not know. That, All-Father, is what makes it worth the walk. They sat in silence, firelight flickering on ancient faces. Deep among the roots of Yggdrasil, voices stirred. They spoke of heroes yet unborn, monsters who would awaken, and a distant twilight called Ragnarok. Yet still, the world turned, stars wheeled overhead, and rivers sang through sleeping lands. At last, dawn crept over Midgard. Mist rose from valleys, deer stepped softly through silent woods, and birds began to sing. The children of Ask and Embla awoke to new days, new loves, and new sorrows. And the gods watched from afar, silent guardians of a story still unfolding. Close your eyes now. Remember the fire that danced in Loki's gaze. The runes Odin saw in silent sacrifice. And the slow, patient breath of Yggdrasil, older than night itself. Dream of worlds yet unmade, of heroes whose names are not yet spoken. And know, the story has only begun. Sleep well, dreamer. The gods still walk beside us, in the hush between heartbeats. In the growing world, from the union of Odin and the Earth Mother, came a son, strong and bright as the morning sun. His name was Thor, the Thunderer. His hair was like golden flames, and his hands strong enough to shape mountains. Odin, proud, gentle. My son, you will guard Midgard's borders, protector of gods and men alike. The dwarves forged for Thor a mighty hammer called Mjolnir, small in size, but heavy with power. It could call down thunder and lightning, and return to his hand, no matter how far it flew. Thor, lifting Mjolnir, smiling softly. With this, I will keep the storms from harming the weak, and the giants at bay. Thor walked often among men, his laughter rolling like distant thunder. He taught them how to respect the forests and mountains, how to read the skies, and when to call the rain. Children loved to hear his stories, and farmers prayed to him for good harvests. Not far away, a radiant goddess came into the world, Freyja, daughter of the sea god Njord, with eyes like the morning star and hair like rippling gold. She was the goddess of love, beauty, and the mysteries of the heart. Njord, smiling. My daughter will teach the world to cherish not only strength, but kindness and passion. Freyja wore a cloak of feathers, soft and shimmering, that allowed her to fly between worlds. She rode a chariot drawn by graceful cats, and her tears, said the legends, turned to precious gold. Freyja, whispering, as she touches a blooming flower. Love is the quiet power that binds all things. Freyja taught men to honor the cycles of the earth, the turning of seasons, the blooming of flowers, and the silent rest of winter. She showed how love could be gentle as spring rain, fierce as summer sun, and patient like autumn leaves falling. One day, Thor and Freyja met by a peaceful river, where wildflowers bowed to the breeze. Thor, grinning warmly. Freyja, your kindness is as fierce as any storm. Freyja, smiling softly. And your strength, Thor, is tempered by a heart that beats for all. They shared stories of their journeys, laughter mixing with the gentle song of water. Together, they made a quiet promise, to guard the world. Thor with thunder and hammer. Freyja with love and light. Freyja, softly. May all who sleep under the stars find courage and comfort. Thor. And may no shadow darken their dreams. Now close your eyes. Imagine Thor's hammer calling distant thunder, soft as a lullaby. Hear Freyja's gentle wings brushing through the night sky, spreading peace like a warm breeze. Rest, dear dreamer. The gods watch over you. Sleep well. One morning, Thor walked through a quiet forest, his footsteps slow and steady. The trees swayed gently, and birds whispered their songs to the soft wind. Thor, murmuring. The world breathes in peace today. He paused beside a small stream, watching the clear water ripple over smooth stones. Near the stream, a tiny sparrow fluttered, lost and trembling. Thor knelt down gently, his voice warm and calm. Thor. Little one, where do you wish to fly? The sparrow chirped softly, wings trembling. Thor smiled and lifted the bird onto his palm. Rest here, and when you are ready, the sky will welcome you again. Meanwhile, Freyja tended a secret garden filled with flowers that glowed softly under moonlight. Each petal held a dream, a hope, or a quiet wish. Freyja, whispering. May these dreams grow strong and sweet, to carry gentle thoughts to sleeping hearts. She brushed her fingers over the blossoms, sending a soft shimmer into the night air. One evening, a small kitten with eyes full of wonder wandered into Freyja's garden. Freyja smiled and wrapped the kitten in her cloak, warmth and comfort surrounding the little creature. Freyja. Fear not, little one. Here, you are safe. The kitten purred softly, curling into a peaceful ball of fur. Later, Thor and Freyja met beneath a sky sparkling with stars. They shared stories of their gentle deeds and quiet moments, their laughter soft as a summer breeze. Thor. Even the smallest acts, like helping a sparrow or calming a storm, hold great power. Freyja. And love, even the gentlest kind, can change the hardest hearts. They sat side by side, watching the constellations weave ancient patterns overhead. As the world slowly drifted to sleep, Thor's hammer rested by the hearth, humming softly. Freyja's garden glowed with a gentle light, carrying dreams on the midnight breeze. Close your eyes now, dear dreamer. Feel the calm strength of Thor, the warm love of Freyja, and the endless peace of a world watched over by gods who care. Sleep well. The night holds you gently. Beyond the green fields of Midgard, across the shimmering rainbow bridge Bifrost, lies Asgard, the shining home of the gods. Golden halls rise high, their walls glowing with the warmth of endless fires. Here, Odin sits on his great throne, watching over all worlds. Thor returns often, hammer in hand, laughter like distant thunder. Freyja moves gracefully through gardens of light, her touch bringing life to every bloom. In Valhalla, the great hall of warriors, the sound of feasting fills the air, clinking cups, quiet songs, and the soft murmur of old stories. But now, the hall rests in peaceful silence. The brave souls who dwell here dream gently, waiting for the day when their strength will be called again. In a quiet corner of Asgard, the Norns, the weavers of fate, sit beneath the roots of Yggdrasil. Their hands move slowly, threading silver and gold, weaving the destinies of gods and men. Norn, softly. Every thread is a life, every knot a choice. Norn too. Even the smallest dreams shape the future. As night deepens, stars twinkle over all 9 worlds, silent witnesses to the unfolding story. A soft breeze carries the scent of pine and rain. The quiet hum of the universe sings a lullaby older than time. Now, close your eyes. Feel the gentle strength of Thor guarding your dreams. Feel the warm light of Freyja filling your heart. Know that in this moment, you are safe, cradled in the endless peace of the cosmos. Tomorrow, new stories will begin. But for now, rest. Sleep well, dream deep. The gods watch over you, always. In the stillness of twilight, Odin wandered alone through the ancient forest surrounding Asgard. The leaves whispered softly beneath his feet, and the fading light painted the sky with gentle hues of amber and rose. Odin, murmuring. To know is to see beyond the veil, to understand the song beneath the silence. Perched quietly in an old oak was a wise owl, eyes deep pools of calm. Odin looked up and spoke softly. Odin. What secrets do you guard, friend of the night? The owl blinked slowly, its feathers ruffling in the evening breeze. Owl, soft hoot. The world's quiet truths, carried on wings of patience. Long ago, Odin sacrificed much to learn the magic of the runes, symbols that hold power in their shapes and sounds. He taught the runes to men and gods alike, so they might write their stories, cast their spells, and speak their deepest thoughts. Odin, reflective. In every line, a spark of life. In every word, a step toward wisdom. That night, Odin sat beneath Yggdrasil's branches, gazing upward at the shimmering stars. He breathed deeply, feeling the pulse of the worlds around him. Close your eyes now, and imagine the soft rustle of leaves, the gentle night air, and the calm watchfulness of Odin, the all-seeing. May your dreams be filled with wisdom's gentle light. May your heart find peace in the quiet moments. And may you wake refreshed, ready to greet the dawn. Sleep well, dear dreamer. The gods are near. As the first light of dawn begins to paint the sky in soft pinks and golds, the worlds stir gently from their quiet rest. The gods prepare for a new day, full of hope and endless possibilities. From the mighty strength of Thor, to the gentle love of Freyja, and the wise watchfulness of Odin, the world finds its balance. In their stories, we remember that power is strongest when paired with kindness, and knowledge is brightest when shared with love. And now, dear dreamer, it is time for your own story to unfold. As you drift deeper into sleep, know that you carry the magic of the gods within you, the courage to face the night, the light to brighten the dark, and the wisdom to find your way. May your dreams be calm and your heart be light. May you wake refreshed, surrounded by peace. And may the ancient spirits watch over you always. Good night, dear dreamer. Sleep well.